The Kansas City Royals have prepared a summary to Hoskins' office proposing a deal. Mentions of the stadium likely moving to Missouri or down North KC or Kansas City, Missouri. Between Royals to build a new frame deal. North Kansas City armor businesses from downtown Kansas City has been floated for the stadium. Government signed a bill. County complex board would help structure a managed Royals run after their lease until 2030 that have been discussed. Royals also include stadium, a superior campus, protecting the long-term deal when safeguarding. As a mayor, I remain committed to the Royals. Having Smith suggested they'll know down the road where the stadium will build. Will stay at Arrowhead has erupted in the new border between Missouri and Kansas. Both saying financial incentives would help them fund a new facility to stay in Missouri, move across the border. Kansas City officials, Washington Square Park is the site for the Royals, including Blue located Mayor Quentin Lucas Success Chapel Ron concert at the nearby WWI Museum Memorial Park drew tens of thousands of fans. The Jackson legislature recently appointed Phil Lavito to executive after voters recalled Frank White last month. He will work to keep teams in Jackson County. Also, up 2 hours ago, downtown the Kansas City ballpark. We know the various of the Kansas City stadiums and the sites. The Kansas City, we know that Kansas authorized a supporting Kansas City, but legislation expired. I have a great meeting where they belong. The site, ballot location, while Kansas City remains in Jackson County. The new voters selection was recalled. Oil situation. So these behind the scenes, it's true. The Royals have already. Stadium is an opportunity. Leasing expiring 2030. We appreciate the end. We approach the end of 2025. Starting while they're all Kansas, Missouri complimentary feature stadiums. Kansas City Chiefs. I think whether the teams stay at, certainly not bad news for owner John Sherman. It looks like they will see plenty of news about the Kansas City Royals ballpark between now and the end of the year. Here's more on that. We don't really have any news as far as a video on downtown ballpark. When we do, that will be released. This is Sam Vaughn for Sam's Stadium News.
One more thing on Lavota's plate as county exec, helping to reach a new stadium deal with the Chiefs and Royals. Last year, Jackson County voters shot down a sales tax extension that would have set aside money for both teams. The Chiefs and Royals are still deciding their next steps. Late today, North Kansas City Mayor Jesse Smith released a statement saying his city is still talking to the Royals about a possible stadium. He calls the talks substantial and will be kept confidential for a limited time period.
To do an update on schizoaffective disorder, I've been asked to do a lot of videos about this. Schizoaffective can be hearing voices, a variety of threatening voices, and send you different signals. The medicine that you likely have to be on helps. If you're needing to be hospitalized, make sure you ask others what they think. Hospital is typically a last choice. Other times are worse than others. What some other things you may. Cognitive behavioral therapy focuses on the link between thoughts and feelings and behaviors, helps identify negative or distorted thinking and places more balanced, realistic, commonly uses avoided anxiety, depression, photo, and stress. Technical included cognitive restructuring, behavioral activation, and explore experiences. DBT Is dialectical behavioral therapy a science behind the CBT? Is borderline disorder personality emphasizes acceptance and a huge balancing option focusing on regulation and distress. Interpersonal and mindfulness often include skills, individualist therapy, and phone coaching. I have been at Shawnee Mission has been so far the best person. If you need more reference on that, contact me personally. Key difference: CBT is more challenging thoughts than behaviors, where DBT is balancing and acceptance and changes, especially in emotional and self-distortive behaviors. Some other things: PTSD, struggles with trauma, lean towards EMDR. EMDR's psychotherapy method that prominently treats PTSD involves demonstrating guided stimulations, often cited sound traps. The goal is to help your brain respond to memories or so on the less emotional, intense, and easier, usually done in structured session with phases including talking and preparation and designation and interrogation. This is according to ChatGPT. TMS has changed my life in so many different ways. This is definitely the best treatment I've ever had. A non-invasive brain stimulation mainly used for depression, responded using a magnetic coil on scalps in specific areas involved in mood regulation, typically done daily over several weeks, with sessions of 20 to 40 minutes. I did 6 weeks. Side effects may include scalp discomfort, headache, serious are weird, less side effects than medication. It is different from ECT, that is very important, and fewer cognitive side effects. More on this next week. This is Sam Vaughn on mental health.
So schizoaffective is exactly as the name indicates, is a mix of schizoid or schizophrenia type symptoms as well as affective type symptoms. So you would have to have protracted episode of psychotic illness. Then on top of that, you could have a major depressive episode associated with it, or you could have a manic episode associated with it. Now, this is in contrast to, say, for instance, just simply schizophrenia, which could occur. You could have schizophrenia, but also have depression alongside schizophrenia, so that doesn't help in trying to differentiate completely between the two. You could have schizophrenia in itself, which comes with psychotic features. But in addition, we could have something like bipolar affective illness, which is an affective disorder with psychotic features as well. So they could be psychotic, and then that could also confuse things. So those are some of the key differentials that you would sometimes have to walk through before you can determine clearly that this is a schizoaffective illness. Schizophrenia type symptoms, which will be similar to what you would likely have if it was just purely schizophrenia, would be mostly psychotic symptoms. Now, for us, psychosis is usually when you experience reality in a way that would not be experienced by anybody else around you. It would feel real to you. You could hear voices like you hear my voice. You would respond to the voices like you would respond to my voice, except nobody else would hear those voices. And that makes it really, really difficult to understand your experience, and it also makes it difficult for people working with you to explain that this is not a reality as such. Right? And usually those psychotic symptoms could be experienced in any modality, any sensory modality. So if it comes to hearing, I could hear voices. but nobody else would hear those voices, or I'm sitting alone in a room and then I hear voices. I